Hello, I am Mark Perry, and today I will be discussing the overlap of phrases in example 2.22 from the Techniques of Phrase Rhythm chapter. So in the reading, this is on page 47, but I'm going to flip my camera around here to show the example to which I'm referring. This is from the section talking about phrase overlaps. This is the first half of the example, but the second half of the example is where the illustrated point comes into play. We can see here in the overlap of measures 8 and 9 that the antecedent here, this phrase, is overlapping with the consequent here. Specifically, the way that the author is describing antecedent and consequent in this context is that the antecedent ends in a half cadence, which we see here in F sharp minor. We get this half cadence with the C sharp major 7 chord. But this phrase, F to towards the beginning, of the example, we see this type of phrase starting, the antecedent here. We see that starting motion as well. The pitch has been altered, but that's okay. So this 3-beat overlap, the author also talked about how in his terminology he only uses the word overlap instead of elision, whether or not the phrases would start with the same notes. He's using the term overlap in general. So this overlap is this 3 beats right here. He illustrates further in example 2.23. He sort of rewrites it so that it stretches out the overlapped section. However, the two things that I'm a little bit confused about in this example, when it comes to rubato, earlier the author was talking about rubato as in phrase structure as sort of stretching out a hypermeter. This seems more like a condense, like a shortening rather than a stretching out or rubato. So that is a little bit confusing to me. But also, when looking at the explanation of this section, it's talking about how in example 2.22, the half cadence of the antecedent is overlapped by the beginning of the consequent in measure 9. The antecedent really ends at the second beat of measure 9 with a C sharp in the melody. I'm a little bit confused as to what exactly the author is talking about here. Here is measure 9. The second beat of measure 9 would be, would be here, and I don't fully understand. Oh, this is supposed to be a triplet. That's why should be a triplet figure there. But there isn't, on this second beat, there isn't a C sharp in the melody. I think that it's a typo. He meant to say that the antecedent ends on this F sharp here in the melody. There wasn't really a way for me to reinterpret that, since we don't see a lot of, we don't get any sense of, compound melody here. There's not a lot of leaps going on in this melody, so it doesn't seem like a C sharp would even be implied in the melody here. And he clearly isn't talking about this C sharp in measure 10. So that is one thing I haven't been sure about, but I'm pretty sure he means that the antecedent ends on this F sharp, and the consequent, it begins its phrase on this F sharp at the end of measure 8. Thank you.